Gary, over the past 4 years, the founders and I have been visiting professional locker rooms, athletic training rooms, strength rooms, universities, and really an amazing feedback we're getting is, hey, this is a great product, this is a great tool, but we need to be shown how to do assessments. We need an assessment tool. And we felt that we can be very good at what we do, which is designing software that can grow with you. But you know what? I was so excited when you reached out and had the concept for 3DMAPS, because it's such a need in the industry. And when you reached out, it just seemed like a perfect partnership here.
Well, as you know, you personally and you and your partners had a big thing to do with 3DMAPS. In other words, being gift fellows and challenging us, and then coming in as a focus group and saying the ideal assessment would have these qualities and these features and these benefits to them. And then that's how we then design 3DMAPS, as opposed to saying, well, let's take a bunch of traditional exercises that we've been doing for years and put it together and given it some numbers, and hopefully it adds up to something that has never made sense to anybody. What you guys said is, no, let's start with the truth first, and let's then design our assessment based on the truth, but let's design it for a reason. And the reason you assess and analyze, as you know when you go into those locker rooms, is we need to get these athletes better quicker when they're hurt, and we need their performance better right now, and we want to prevent injury. And so we need a tool that allows us to do that. I believe we're finally there with 3DMAPS after 40 years of working on it, but again, it's hugely enhanced with Spark Motion.
Well, it's funny that we sort of developed both of our products the same way.
Exactly.
Which is, we built it out of necessity. And we built it from the ground up based as practitioners. What do we need in our industry? We didn't wait for computer guys to sit there and say, tell us what we needed and how it's going to function and work when we designed Spark Motion. And that's exactly what you did with 3DMAPS.
Yeah, and again, you developed Spark Motion by first of all saying, what do we need out there, and how can we make it effective and efficient for you? How can we make it powerful? How can it be really an easy tool? But how do we ultimately get to where we want to go? And the beauty of Spark Motion is, especially with the right motions that you're showing, is that all of a sudden we have this great system where these movements are meaningful to us. Because if you capture movements that aren't meaningful, or you capture things that aren't even movement, and you go, well, why am I even capturing this? So I'm wasting my time not only with the assessment, but I'm wasting my time with the tool. That's been frustrating for us for years. Now with a movement system that makes sense, that's built on truth, with a capture system that not only makes sense, but it was built on the need for what we really need, like you say, from the ground up. I think we have a perfect marriage to give people to say, you know what, you can do your craft about 1,000,000 times better.
Absolutely. And one of the key components that we designed with Spark is we understand that we were designed by professionals for professionals. In other words, everyone has a clientele. And it's so important to be able to manage those videos, know where they are, is, what day did I do that as 3DMAPS assessment on that client? And let me compare today's assessment to that previous assessment. And having the file management and the capability to do that, we can pull those clips up, put them side by side, and it's like you said, it is a perfect marriage.
Yeah. Well, as you know, Spark Motion has a lot of features and benefits that compete with everything else out there. But you just hit on the big thing. At the end of the day, it's all about you versus you, and did you get better? And unless you have this system where I can look at you 2 weeks ago, and I take you through 3DMAPS, and I take you through a performance training package, and then I go, you know what, I want to just prove to you what a great job you're doing. I, as the patient or client athlete, go, I can already tell I'm doing this better. I can feel it. I already know that when I go home, I do the thing better. I'm already a little faster on the football field. But all of a sudden, if you can pull from what you did 2 weeks ago, and you quickly show me, here's what you look like today, I'm going to step back and go, wait a minute, I don't even look like the same person. And we can see a comparative analysis, what happens within 10 minutes. But you all of a sudden give me 2 weeks or 2 months or even a lifetime where you can prove to me that you've been significant to my life and I've been significant to yours. That's where Spark Motion takes on a dimension that I don't think we can miss. I don't think we can just simply say, well, I did this and I documented it and I gave it this code or I gave it this number and I just hope it's right. Without the video documentation, we're talking about movement here. And it's kind of silly. If we don't have a movement capture system to document movement, we have to really ask ourselves, then why are we really doing it? That's the power of Spark Motion.
Well, and what was something I learned going through GIFT was the fact that we all absorb information differently. And so what really gave me the idea for Spark Motion was the fact that, since everyone learns differently, if we can provide as much information as possible to the athlete or the client in front of us, they're going to be more successful. Therefore, my business will be more successful, but ultimately the athlete will be more successful on the field.
Yeah, and again, that's the power of Spark Motion is that as a practitioner, for me, it's gold because it allows me to see things I can't see. It gives me a comparative analysis impossible for me to do. I can't have you do something and do the exact same thing 10 minutes later and have me compare it. I have to go back in the archives of my memory and going, I think you're doing that better. And they're going, no, I'm doing it better. Well, let's see if we can prove it. You know, but as powerful as this for me, we can't overstate the significance it is to the client, to the patient, to the athlete, where they literally see that you took the time, the caring, to capture their success, and you built upon their success, and you documented their success, and you simply go, it'd be hard not to look at that and go, man, I'm really proud of you. You know, it's just like it almost has to come out, and the patient or client going, well, I'm kind of proud of myself too, but I'm proud of you as my practitioner for having the wisdom to utilize 3DMAPS, but even more importantly, to have the wisdom of using Spark Motion. So it's like, I'm excited, and you can tell you're excited because I think, as you said, this is going to be a game changer. I think finally people will say, now I know why I'm using Spark Motion because it's just not a random taking a look of these different positions. I'm literally looking at movement, and I'm looking at the power of movement and the power of encouragement.
And you have the way to very simply document change and communicate it to your client and patient.
Yeah, well, it kind of, the biggest thing you need to know, and you and your partners need to know, is you should be very proud of what you've done here. But again, we're excited to be able to contribute to that because I think we now have a tool with 3DMAPS where this can be significant. In other words, again, just videotaping for videotaping's sake makes no sense, and just having people do different random exercises without, as you would say, purpose, just doesn't get us there. We already know intuitively this is not it. This gives us a purpose-driven mission and passion to do what we want to do, and it documents that. So I want to compliment you and your partners, but you and your partners should be very proud of what you've done because, again, I think this is going to be a huge, significant game changer in the industry.
Well, I appreciate those kind words and know that Gray Institute was a part of the inspiration of the development of Spark Motion.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.